Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
So right before recording a podcast, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of Coffee and Contemplation. I don't know, maybe a podcast? I'm obviously your host, Old Heart. My friends, you can call me Jared if you want, but Old Heart works too. Either way, I'm here sitting down, trying to wake up my mind and ripen up my coconut as best as I can, right? And I'm doing a follow-up episode because I obviously risked it all and did a part one, which is so stupid. I always do part ones and I always forget to do part twos. But here I am, sitting down, doing a part two to my part one of Ramtha. Well, good luck listening to this because... Yes, as always, good hearty clap to start the fucking recording off, I guess. Either way, so we're talking about Ramtha again. On the last episode of Coffee and Contemplation, I talked about Jay-Z Knight and kind of ran through some of the brief stuff on her Ramtha thing that she created out of fucking nowhere, apparently. I mean, which, like, I was thinking about it, and honestly, kudos to you. Let me adjust my mic real quick while recording, because, you know, this isn't live or anything. So, it's not. I mean, it mostly is. I really don't add anything. I usually just maybe boost the volume and then just fucking mix it down and post it, because why? You gotta be raw, man. You gotta be raw. Either way, we're not talking about this. We're not talking about raw. We're talking about Ramtha. So Ramtha, man, I didn't want to touch. I didn't want to touch on the teachings of Ramtha necessarily on the last episode because there's just a lot of extra shit. You know, there's a lot of extra shit. So just as like a brief reminder, Ramtha means God, or it means the God in Ramtha's language, so it could really just be what the fuck ever. Also, as a quick reminder, Ramtha was a warrior who fought the Atlanteans over 35,000 years ago. So, with that in mind, Ramtha is the central figure, aka the master teacher, at the Ramtha's School of Enlightenment, which was started by Jay-Z Knight in 1987 near the town of Yelm, Washington, which is very close to where Old Heart Radio is based in Olympia, Washington. So I'm really going to try to reach out. I swear to God, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to reach out and see if I can get Jay-Z Knight on an episode of Local Yokels. I almost guarantee you that Ramtha will say no, or Jay-Z Knight will say no, whichever the two. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try for you, dear listeners. I swear to God. It was Ramtha's School of Enlightenment was started by Knight in 1987 near Yelm, Washington. Classes, or I believe what they call dialogues, had been held around the world before that for about 10 years or so. So, decade in this motherfucker. Shout out to Yellow Teeth. There are currently over 6,000 students of Jay-Z Knight's teachings. A central theme of Jay-Z Knight's teachings involves the divinity, the internalization of divinity, kind of like that, you know, the mantra, God is in us, you are God, behold God. Jay-Z Knight describes Ramtha as having brought his ancient-ass knowledge to many ancient-ass civilizations in the world, such as, shocker here, ancient Egypt. I love that, like, whenever there's sort of like, these aliens came down and obviously fucking met up with somebody. They met up with the ancient Egyptians, man. It's always the ancient Egyptians. Look at this. I'm getting a phone call in the middle of this podcast from my own phone number. Do you think this is a scam, dear listeners? Let's find out. Let's hit speaker. What? It won't let me put it on speakerphone. That is some crazy shit. I believe I'm getting scammed up my motherfucking ass. Either way. So, we're not talking about me getting scammed right now. We're talking about Ramtha, which actually, weirdly enough, kind of connects, because I think that the more you read about Ramtha, the more it sounds like malarkey. And I don't mean to say that negatively. I just mean to say that with a period at the end. So, a central theme of Knight's teachings, again, is the internalization of divinity. Knight describes Ramtha as having given his knowledge to civilizations like ancient Egypt. Her website also suggests the traces of lineage to other teachings and philosophies from like the likes of Socrates and religions as like Hinduism and Judaism, and like touching on people with his ancient knowledge like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo. So obviously she's just like picking people out of history. I mean, maybe not. Who knows? Shoutouts to Yellow Tea, shoutouts to Castle Roll, shoutouts to Mooner6, Uncaged, my little younger brother Bugatron, shoutouts to anybody listening out there, shoutouts to Jay-Z Knight. I want you on a podcast, Jay-Z Knight. But, understandably, who knows? So, the 4 cornerstones of Jay-Z Knight's philosophy are... Or is this Ramtha's? The line gets so blurred. Is it Jay-Z Knight's philosophy or Ramtha's philosophy? Like, is she taking credit for Ramtha's philosophy and just calling it her own? Because I think that would make Ramtha mad, really. Either way, the philosophy, the 4 cornerstones of the philosophy are: 1, the statement, "You are God." Well, I can't argue that, man. Is it in us? Is it not in us? Is it above us? Is it within, without? It's all over. It is everything. Anyway, God, I'm getting distracted. That contemplation, man. Hold on a second. So one again is the statement, "You are God." Shout out to my Olympia moonshine. 2, the second cornerstone, directive to make known the unknown. I don't necessarily argue with that. The third cornerstone, the concept that consciousness and energy create the nature of reality. And 4, the fourth cornerstone, the challenge to conquer yourself. Knight's teachings appear to be a mixture of different philosophies and occult traditions and contemporary positive thinking attitudes. Which is great, I mean, she's classified as a New Age teacher. I mean, New Age teachers are just believers in some shit that you don't believe in, and that's kind of like, I mean, what's religion? What's science, for that matter? I mean, science. I don't mean to throw science in the same category. Science is proven through trial and error. Either way, so Knight's teachings, like I said, appear to be a mixed bag of a bunch of shit, because this is just somebody who's created something. It reminds me of the Kryptos sculpture episode I did, where it's just the mystery that baffles everybody is just a mystery created by somebody, right? This is just a teaching created by somebody. It was created by somebody and traced at least back to 1977, right? Not 35,000 years ago, not some asshole fighting the fucking Atlanteans. Like, it's just crazy. Anyway, I'm a skeptic, but that's why I want to talk to Jay-Z Knight. It'd be incredible. So either way, when Knight says she is channeling Ramtha, which she does, she speaks mostly in English in what sounds like an accent from the Indian Raj. Sometimes in a very simplistic way, according to the Wikipedia page at least. The claimed entity, Ramtha, has expressed confusion about modern times or even the ability to read English. Although he seems to have clear understanding of complex issues of modern physics and like the quantum fields or like quantum field or neurology, Jay-Z Knight allegedly during the channeling of Ramtha behaves a bit differently and speaks in a deeper and sterner voice, which is simple voice acting. In her teachings, Ramtha has made several controversial statements, such as Christianity is a backwards religion. She's also claimed that she's apparently tried to claim that the Jesus' parables can be explained by means of photon waves and probability. I don't know about that. And also, let's see, Jay-Z Knight has stated that Ramtha had declared HIV is nature's way of getting rid of homosexuality. So go fuck yourself on that one. Wow. It's shocking how much this cult lines up with like really extreme Christian belief on that matter. Weird. The Southern Poverty Law Center observed Ramtha had made anti-Semitic comments such as, "Fuck God's chosen people. I think they have earned enough cash to have paid their way out of the goddamn gas chambers by now." Holy shit. I'm sorry I said that on this, but I'm not going to take it out because it's a statement that was made by Jay-Z Knight. All right. That shit's crazy. Like, not only was the HIV as nature's way of getting rid of homosexuality shit crazy, but that's not cool, man. I mean, like, I want to talk to Jay-Z Knight and I want to question her about this shit, but I do not have any interest in somebody who's anti-Semitic or who's a fucking homophobe. I'm not interested in people who hate other people for anything, really. Like, hate people for like individual reasons. That's kind of my thing. Like, hate people for individual reasons. Like, that person's a fucking asshole. But like, hating somebody because they're gay, hating somebody because they're of a different race, religion, whatever, is just like, bitch, it's 2019. Get the fuck over yourself. I get that we have an orangutan in the White House that does that shit, but not for long. Either way, so this is some crazy ass shit. This is obviously a new age cult with around 6,000 members that has been going on since the 80s. And it's established really close to where I am. So obviously I'm fucking interested. This is interesting. It's insane. This is another episode of Coffee, and Contemplation. I said it 3 times. Why? Because I have had a lot of Olympia moonshine today. Go out there and use your brain for good, kids. Don't let Ramtha tell you not to ripen up your coconut because you've been here doing it with me. And obviously that means something. Ramtha sounds like a crazy fucking homophobe who hates other people different than himself. And Jay-Z Knight is probably just Ramtha. So, I'm just calling it like it is. Either way, dear listeners, keep your stick on the ice.